Welcome back, fishing friends, to another episode of BurlyFishing, or thanks for stopping by if this is your first time coming to the channel. Today we are unboxing our monthly boxes. We have the MonsterBass regional box versus the MTB Pro box, going head to head, bait to bait. Let's see who comes up on top today. You guys let me know in the comments. Who do you think is the better box? Hashtag better box. And who had the better baits, or what was the best overall bait or lure that was included in these boxes this month? Before we get to that, if this is your first time stopping by, go ahead and smash that like button, hit subscribe, hit notification bells, because you're not going to want to miss other videos we do. And I appreciate it very much when you guys do that. And drop a comment along the way. Anything you see during the video, anything that you want to start a discussion about, questions you guys have, thoughts you have about the boxes or future videos, let me know. Let's get into it. So we're going to crack both these bad boys open. I think you guys, if you've been following my channel, know the drill at this point. We're going to cut them loose. And what we're trying to judge these boxes on today: 1, fishability; 2, seasonality. Are these baits appropriate for this fishing season? To recap, I'm in the Midwest region, so this MonsterBass regional is the Midwest Great Lakes region box. MTB doesn't care where I'm at. It's in the same baits to everybody. But the point is, it is early March. Thanks to hashtag coronavirus, all I can do is fish. Ain't nothing else to do. My kids are home from school, so we're gonna go out and we're gonna use these baits. So we might get a chance to put these head to head on the water. But the point is, would you guys fish this right now in your local bodies of water? Let me know what you guys think. Hit me up in the comments for that. Okay, cool. You got your little measurement. You got your Dibble Digest. You got your what's inside Bass Pro quote unquote retail prices. All sorts of options there. And I'm getting a look at some baits. MonsterBass. Hey, we've got some seasonal tips. That's pretty rad. So from our spring, summer, fall, winter, what are we looking for? Water temps, spawning seasons, baits that you should be throwing. I think that's pretty helpful. So that's pretty cool to see. Now, also this card. Now let's get into the baits. So we had a long, terrible winter. It's now early spring. Water's still pretty cold. Bass are starting to spawn up. I know in the southern states, I've been hearing from you guys, you're already on beds. Good for you. I'm super jealous. I'm gonna go find those beds soon. Water's still kind of dirty for me from the runoff, so we're looking for some baits that will fish well in the colder, dirtier waters, pre-spawn, and get these fish biting. Let's see what we got. Starting with mystery tackle box, we have the Lunker Hunt Lunker Frog. A good bait, a good frogging bait. I'm not gonna catch anything on this. If you guys are catching topwater frog baits right now in spring, gosh dang, I envy you. This would be a great summer bait for me though. So I'm gonna hold on to this. We're gonna come back to it. I don't have a lot of these like natural green looking ones. So we have that green body, very dark green actually, so more of a natural approach to it. And this is that Lunker Hunt style with big old springy legs instead of the long skirted tails, right? So that gives you a good variation. I actually don't think I have any of these. I might have a black one, but this gives me a little variation on that. And then we got the yellow belly. So it's gonna look nice on the water. And again, I think these legs are gonna add a pretty cool variation compared to the other frog baits that I have. So good bait. Not good for the season right now for me. Going to MonsterBass. First up, we've got a lipless bait. No frogs in this box, I'm looking. We have the Lunker Hunt, so it's Lunker versus Lunker. Okay, cool. Okay, it's called the Kraken HB series, hard body, hard bait, I'm assuming that is. So we've got the nice little rattling lipless in silver. It's pretty good color for what we're talking about. We want to get some good flash. We have the 2 line tie options so we can fish it different ways. So it's a little more upright versus down coming through the water. We're going to rip this through the grass that is just starting to come back up. Well, the fact that there's not a ton of grass means this is going to be a lot easier to fish, but lipless will do well right now. So this I'm good with. This is seasonally thumbs up, good for me. That's from MonsterBass. With the lipless. Going back to MTB, I've seen people posting about this bait, so I've never tried it. I'm always a little leery about novelty baits. This is a lipless, but as you can see, there's no hook on there. How am I going to catch those fish? Is this just a Bass Pro practice bait? Nope. So this is the Jinko Fishing Rip Knocker trap line. So what we're going to do is gently get this treble hook out, this massive treble. Gently rip the plastic off of this. Cool. So we have a giant treble hook. And what you're gonna do is you have a hole right at the top of that. Okay, so you guys can see that hole. So we're gonna do a little through line approach. We're gonna tie the treble down here. So as opposed to a standard lipless where a bass can typically shake it using the weight of the body of the bait to get themselves off these treble hooks, with this, supposedly, because it's a through line, the weight of the bait will be out of the way. So a bass gets hooked, the weight of the bait is going to slide up the line as the bass runs with it, and you start reeling them in, and they won't be able to use this because they'll be separated. So they can't shake it. So we're obviously going to put this to the test. We're going to take this out on the water this weekend, and I'm going to get a chance to test it out. So I'll let you guys know. We'll see what happens. But interesting. Again, just skeptical, but we'll see. Let's go back over here, and I see one of my favorite baits to throw ever, which is a chatterbait. This is the original chatterbait style in green pumpkin. It's a 3/8 ounce, and we've got the silver blade on the jig there. These baits are absolute money and still sticking with the season, which, by the way, that Rip Knocker, seasonally, you know, lipless bait should work. So that's 1 for 2. This is seasonally great. Chatterbaits I will definitely use now, especially in the dirtier water, and depending on the conditions for the day. But this, I'm gonna just drag right through all the grass that I can. Actually, I went out fishing, bank fishing the other day, threw just about everything I had at them, and the only thing that got a bite was a chatterbait. Once I can get go find them, get off the bank, get on my boat and go find them, might be able to knock them dead. So that was MonsterBass with the chatterbait, Z-Man chatterbait, one of my favorite things to throw. Go back to MTB, and I'll be honest, I've gotten this from MTB 3 times now. So I don't know if you guys get repeat baits a lot, but something to think about. This is my plastic fish. So we got a live target swim bait in a sunfish, bluegill style. I mean, they'll definitely catch fish. We got a little semi-weedless guard here, which is always helpful. It's got a little heft to it, probably about a 1/2 ounce. And you can always attach the extra treble from the bottom if you want. Again, I've got a bunch of these. Don't catch a lot of fish on these here, but it's something I think I will be throwing late spring and summer, and early midsummer. I'm gonna start throwing some of these. We'll see what happens. You know, it's always nice to throw a bigger swim bait to see if you can just get that one big dude going. Catch yourself a big old bass. Seasonally, I'm not gonna throw this right now. So it's 1 for 3 so far from MTB, just keeping tabs at home. Going back to MonsterBass, we have a jerkbait. We have a Bait Lab craw pattern red jerk bait. And there we go. So this is called Rocket Shad. It's this red little ribbing, cross style ribbing on it, which is pretty rad. We have no rattle, so this is silent. Again, short lip, so it's gonna not dive very far. This says 1 to 1.5 meters, however far that is. It is a floating style, and it's 3/4 of an ounce. Looks pretty fly. Looks good. Will it catch fish? I don't know. I'm gonna give it a shot, but jerkbait fits the season. This should be effectively a good bait. And throw in red, I've heard money in the spring. So we're gonna get after that. Going back to MTB, we got a spinnerbait. Hey, there is no season to spinnerbaits. Spinnerbait should work all year round. We have a nice yellow one. This is by the Carl's Amazing Baits. Blades on these, I've used these before. The blades are actually nice. These are nice blades. I know if you guys get those cheaper, like Jawbone or whatever, like Walmart brand, Dick's Sporting Goods brands, you get the real cheap blades. They tend to rust real fast. These are pretty decent blades. These will hold up. Got that longer style head, not too wide of an arm there. This thing will catch for sure. Ooh, sharp. So spinnerbaits always work. we're gonna go fish this a bunch. So that's 2 for 4. 2 for 4. Monster Bass still at 3 for 3. Let's go for the next one. Next one would be some tubes. So we have brand-wise is Bruiser Baits, Green Pumpkin, and Gold Fleck. Intriguing. I love a bag that doesn't make me tear it off, so I still have my peg hanger there. Thank you. And there we go. So like a medium body tube. Not too bad. I don't know if you guys fish tubes, but smallmouth absolutely freaking crush this. A ton of other species do too, but these are money to fish, especially if you're fishing like rocky areas or dams or drop-offs. Like, boom, these will work, and they'll work right now. So smallmouth, pike, cold water beasts, they're gonna be biting these in the river and at a dam that I have near me. So this is a very fishable bait right now. That means 4 for 4 monster bass at this moment. Going back to MTB, so we have the Cream Split Tail Trailer. So this looks like drop shot is how I would fish this. We got a little bit of ribbing on the backside. That's interesting. And then obviously by the name, you can tell it has a split tail. So if you guys are drop shotting this ribbing is going to help move the water, and then that split tail is going to create sort of a dual action there off the tail. White, good color for me right now. I could probably fish it in the less muddy water. I could do a pretty good job with this once it clears up a little bit. So we'll get back to it. And then drop shotting, once it slows down, I mean, whenever it's slow, it's a good option to throw a drop shot. So look at all that action. Oh, we got one more hard bait in here. So we got a Bomber Lures, more of a shallow diving crankbait. Color here is Speckled Perch. Speckled Perch. So we got that blue, spotted, little red gill there on the bottom too. We've got some OK trebles on it. It's gonna dive to about 4 to 6 feet. So again, more of a shallow diving crank that we might throw, which again could work at this point. Bass pre-spawning should be moving in a little bit shallower and feeding. Could throw something like this at them for sure. So that could definitely work. And most importantly, it matches the season and the region, which is what we're looking for. I need fishability here, right? All right, guys, we got 2 left from MTB. Last bait from them would be a Senko style worm. By Impulse is the brand. We have sort of a dirty purple color. If you guys can see that, it's like very dark purple with some green and looks like gold, silver fleck in it. So decent action, good standard size bait. Something we can definitely throw. So this time of year, we're going to not likely wacky rig this, although that might work. We'll probably Texas rig this or shaky head it, which the last one they have is the shaky head. So we'll get to that one in a second. Those are stanky. Excite the bite with scent, color, and action. It's got some stank. Going back to Monster Bass, we have some Zoom. You know I love my Zoom. Oh no, this is the tops. These craws are dope. This is the Ultra Vibe Speed Craw. What I like about this, you got tons of appendages on it. And you got your little craw handles here, right? So not too crazy on the action with it, but this is a great trailer actually for that chatterbait, right? We can throw that on the chatterbait. We can throw it on some EWG hooks, and we can flip that around, and that's gonna just be money. And then of course, we'll probably be doing some jigging at this time of the season too. So we can hook this up. We got black and blue on this bad boy. So we'll throw it on a black and blue jig or something like that. Down to the wire here. I've only got one more bait from the MTB Pro Box, and that is this Excavator stand-up shaky head jig. So shaky heads can definitely fish right now. So that is seasonally good. And I love shaky heads. I love fishing shaky heads. So we've got this, all right, now that I'm looking at it, very interesting. It looks like it's gonna have a little, well, not little, it's gonna have a much more like horizontal style presentation there. So it might have even been meant to, I mean, we could throw that worm on it, the Impulse, right? Might have even been meant to just throw this little cream split tail on it, right? Doesn't look too bad. These are super light at 3/16 of an ounce, and with a little 4/0 hook, not super heavy wire hook either. So that's something where we could throw something a little finessey like that. You could obviously throw a worm on it, but compared to your normal shaky heads, you can see how that little twist lock's coming up. This is gonna have a little more of a horizontal presentation than your standard stand-ups. Cool, good variation, I like it. So we're gonna wrap up Monster Bass here. Got 2 more in the Monster Bass box, so let's hit both of those. Number 1, we've got this On the Spot Baits Goby style drop shot. Very small profile. Got like some fins on the side there. We got some good action in the tail. That little teardrop shape at the end of the tail is gonna mean that this is gonna move a lot on the end of your hook. So again, we're gonna drop shot this one. Looks good, Fenty. Looks good, works well, and guess what? I don't have to tear the top, so I can hang it on my pegboard, which makes me happy. So last but not least, we've got these Daiichi hooks, EWGs in red, which is a great color for this season. So again, we can go flip around that speed craw, could cross-contaminate here, and we could Texas rig our worm, or we could go to my giant bins of plastic and find something else, but there's plenty that we could do with this. That's it, guys. That is everything in this month's box. So to recap from Monster Bass, in this month's box, March 2020, you get the red EWG Daiichi hooks, you get the Zoom Speed Craws, you get the Bruiser Baits tubes, Green Pumpkin Gold. I love gold. You get this Bomber Baits Shallow Dive and Crank. You get this Bait Labs Jerk. You get this Lunker Hunt Lipless. You get the Z-Man Chatterbaits Green Pumpkin. And we get this On the Spot Goby Drop Shot. So all good things, literally all seasonally correct. So it's a very fishable box. I could just take this, probably a couple sinkers and some hooks, maybe a line, some leader line, and we could do some work with this. MTB, again to recap, we had the Impulse Senkos. We had Excavator stand-up shaky head jigs. We had that Live Target sunfish style swim bait. We got the Lunker Hunt frog with the crazy legs. We got the Spinnerbait. It's Carl's Crazy Baits. Carl's Amazing Baits. We've got the Rip Knocker, missing a hook. Just kidding, it's a line through style. Very interesting. We're gonna test that baby out. And then we've got the Cream split tail drop shot style plastic. So lots of good stuff. Both boxes, I would say. But as you guys know, the important question is, which was the hashtag better box? So like always, let me know in the comments. Hit me up below. Which was the better box, Monster Bass or MTB Pro this month? Which one are you fishing out of? And if it's not one of these two, let me know what other boxes you guys use. And if you guys aren't fishing anything found in any of these boxes, these monthly boxes, that's okay too. What are your favorite spring lures to throw? Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear it. Share that with your fishing friends, of course. And if you guys like the video, smash that like button, hit subscribe, ring that bell. Stay tuned for more good content. And you guys can find me on social media and anywhere that you find podcasts. So at BurlyFishing on Instagram, Facebook.com/BurlyFishing. Podcast is iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you want to go. It is the BurlyFishing Podcast. Stay tuned for more episodes with me and my buddy Paul Glass, talking all sorts of outdoor stuff and angling. And we'll see you guys out on the water. You guys want to see a shirtception? America. Also, America. How do you, America?